Welcome, welcome back to Mia Bella's ASMR. Glad to have you here. Today I have on nails. They're very cute, but I only have one hand on because I actually lost two nails on the other hand, and I think it looks kind of silly to have two missing. And I really like the functionality of being able to do things, so I decided to just put one hand on for the video. So today I wanted to talk to you about a party that I recently went to. It was very fun. It was a themed party. It was 2010s indie sleaze. Indie sleaze, indie sleaze, indie sleaze. And everybody dressed the part. Everybody dressed up, which was really fun. I think sometimes you go to a party and like no one really tries to go along with the theme, and then you're just kind of like, well, like what was the point of having a theme if no one's gonna try dress up? But everyone dressed up for this one, and it was quite a big party, so it was really fun. But I noticed some interesting dynamics happening at this party. So it may be important to note that the majority of people at this party were film school students. Yeah, this may contribute to the types of things that I saw at this party. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I had a really good night. It was a party that I didn't really know. I was a +1, so I didn't know many people there. I pretty much only knew the 3 friends that I went with, and there were maybe, I would say, around 60 or 70 people there. So there were a lot of people that I didn't know. I didn't really know anyone there. So me and my friends got there. We're dressed up. We're having fun. We're there to have a dance. There was good music playing, so we were just having a good time and dancing a lot. And there were plenty of other people at this party who were also there to dance, which was awesome. So we were all just dancing and like having a good time. And then I noticed a couple of times when there were some guys at this party who were also dressed up to the theme, and they seemed like, how do I put this? They seemed like very like liberal or like progressive men. They're obviously not afraid to have a little bit of femininity in their clothing style. You know, maybe their nails are painted, that kind of thing. But I noticed a couple of times when guys like these, I saw them hitting on some girls at this party, and they were just really unsuccessful. It was really bad. Like they would go up to a girl and like try to start flirting with her, but like it just wasn't working. The girl wasn't having any of it. She was like, I was, like, sorry, I'm not interested. And then the guy goes, oh, I'm bisexual. Like, what was that got to do with anything? I feel like that was one particular guy. I saw him hit on multiple girls in the same way and have the same unsuccessful outcome. And I was like, what? Like, and he said that, like, oh, I'm bisexual, like, both times. So I thought, oh, so he's trying to make himself more relatable to the kind of leftist, or like, you know, like feminist girls who are like artsy and film students, you know, at this party. So it's felt like he was trying to be relatable and be like, oh, I'm like you, like I'm bisexual. But he just didn't know how to approach women. He did it in a way that at best was very awkward, and at worst was didn't feel safe for the girl being approached. And I kind of started to realize, I guess, so I'm also bisexual. And so I was dancing with all these very beautiful girls at this party, and it felt like we were like this little safe, we were in this circle where we were dancing, and it felt like, oh, this is the safe people. We've all found each other, even though we're strangers, because we were signaling to each other that we're dressed up to the theme, we're dancing, so we're here to party, we're here to have fun, we're like, this is what the party is for. This is what we're here for. We're here to dance, we're here to have a good time, we're here to enjoy the music, enjoy the theme of the party, get drunk, and just be a little bit silly. And everyone who kind of was dancing with us had the same intentions, and they saw that, okay, those people are there to have a good time, I'm going to join them, because they're not here to be approaching people, or, you know, they're not being weird, they're being chill, they're dancing. So we kind of collected a whole bunch of people in this group that we were dancing together with. And I was also, out of the corner of my eye, I was seeing these interactions where guys were trying to hit on girls and it wasn't going well. And I was seeing that some girls were feeling a bit uncomfortable with the guys hitting on them. And I was like, well... And they were like avoiding these guys and coming to dance with us. And it was like, we're the safe space, and yet me and my friends, we're queer. We're also into women, we're attracted to women. I was attracted to some of the girls that I was dancing with. And I thought, well, but how was it that they feel safe here and not with the guys? Because there was also flirting going on, I should mention. Important to note. There was also flirting going on in the little group that we were all dancing together. And one of the, I guess, one instance of flirting that I saw was this girl came up to my friend and she literally got down on her knees in front of her and she said, babe, you are so stunning, I just want to worship your body. And she was literally like on her knees in front of her, like, oh, like I'm like worshipping you. And it was really fun, it was flirty, it was sexy, it was also just silly, and like it was just great. The vibes were there, everyone was super into it. We were all like, yes, you know, like everyone was super into it. And I was like, a guy would never do that. A man would never get down on his knees and praise a woman's body. Like, but, and even if he tried to, like, it just wouldn't work, right? It wouldn't feel genuine, it wouldn't feel comfortable. So I was trying to analyze, like, why is it that this girl who was, you know, into other girls how is it that no one feels uncomfortable when she does that, but would feel uncomfortable if a guy did that, or he wouldn't really just even do that in the first place? And so I kind of realized there were a few different, there was kind of like a secret code between us. Kind of like what I was saying earlier, that step one is to dress up. We're dressed up for the themed party. And then step two is we come with the intention of having a good time and enjoying ourselves at this party, going there to dance, going there to meet other people, just going there to have a good time. Number three, step three is dancing. You hang out with other people and you just dance next to them, with them. You're there to dance. And then step four, if you want to, this is the optional step, is you can start having a little, maybe flirt with other people who are also on your vibe and having a good time and dancing and dressed up. That's the optional step. But it can arise very naturally. If you're doing the first three things, then it just kind of happens naturally, because you find people that are also on the same vibe as you, and then you're just having fun. You're having a bit of banter, you're flirting a little bit. It doesn't have to be serious. And so I realized that the guys, I think that a lot of, at a sort of regular party, where people aren't literally from a film school and not that many people would have been dressed up, I think a lot of guys wouldn't even, maybe no guys would have done number one. They wouldn't have even dressed up. So they're even more removed from this other kind of little secret club that we have going, the girls and the gays. But because they were film school students, all the guys were doing number one. They were dressing up, which I think this is where we get the idea of performative men, who they look the part, and you think that they're like feminist, you think that they're super progressive, but then they start hitting on you and you're like, oh no, you don't understand what's going on here. You don't get us. You don't understand how to make women feel safe. So I think that's why a lot of people have this criticism of like feminine men. And don't get me wrong, I love a man who's dressed femininely. Like, I absolutely dig it. That's not the problem. The problem is when you get guys, like some of the guys that were at the party, who they look like they're going to be a safe space for you, but they're not. And they might even try to use things that they think make women, like, make them feel more safe and approachable and relatable to women, like saying, I'm bisexual. That's where you get these performative men that, I'm sure I've seen discourse online about like, oh, like, this is so terrible, and but some people decide to make it a whole like, oh, well, men shouldn't be dressing femininely, like, and it's like, no, that's not the point. The point is that if men look like they're going to be a safe place for women, then they should be a safe place for women, and not be weirdly hitting on them without understanding the vibes. And yeah, so anyway, even if the guys do step one, they don't do step two. And step two is coming to the party with the intention of just having a good time. Maybe some of them do, but some of them also come to the party with the intention of, oh, I want to sleep with a hot girl tonight. And already we can sense that your intentions are impure. And Number 3, they do not dance at all. No, they do not. They do not. And by the way, I should mention that I'm only talking about men who are interested in women here, because there were a couple of gay guys that were dancing with us and they were with the vibes. They get it. They got the vibes. So yeah, I'm specifically talking about guys that are attracted to girls. And okay, where was I? Okay, yeah, so some of them maybe didn't come with the right intentions. And number 3, none of them were dancing. None of the guys that were into girls were dancing with us. They just stood. We had this group, and there were new people coming into this circle of us dancing all the time. But for some reason, the guys never wanted to come and dance with us, except for, as I mentioned, a couple of gay guys. But none of the guys that were like interested in women were dancing with us. They didn't want to have a boogie with us. What? Like, we were having the best time ever. And honestly, I feel sad because like we were having a great time. Anyone can enjoy dancing, you know. But no, they didn't seem to want to dance with us. And then they skip maybe step 2, but definitely they skip step 3, and then they try to jump to step 4, which is flirting with someone. But you haven't built up this. You're not using this language that builds rapport with us and that makes us feel comfortable with you, that makes us have fun with you. So when you hit on us, it's not gonna work. It's just not. So I think if more men understood the steps, then they would have a lot more success with hitting on girls at a party. Because there's nothing wrong with, you know, I'm sure there were plenty of girls at that party who would have been reasonable, you know, they would have been like, oh, like a cute guy, I'm going to make out with him at this party even though I've never met him before, you know. Those were the vibes. Like, I think that was the type of thing that's okay. It's okay to flirt with people at a party. Like, it's okay to approach people at a party. That's not the problem. The problem is when you don't do any of the actions that make people comfortable around you first, and then you just go straight to hitting on them. It's not gonna fly. So yeah, and I think that's why people don't like these so-called performative men, is because if a guy is he's not a performative man, he doesn't even look the part, you can immediately, when you step foot into the party, you can discredit him and be like, okay, well, I'm, you know, like that's not someone who I want to be spending time with tonight, because they're clearly not here for the vibes, they're not even dressed up, they're not dancing. It's very easy to discredit them. But if a guy is dressed up he looks the part, you think, oh, well, maybe he's, like, you know, maybe he's here to have a good time with us, maybe he's a little bit fruity, and then you're sorely disappointed when he like tries to hit on you without speaking to you at all beforehand. He hasn't had a conversation with you, he just starts saying that, oh, like, you look so cool, do you want to make out? By the way, I'm bisexual. Anyways, it's getting me mad. But yeah, that was my thoughts for today. I wonder what your experience is. If you're a woman, if you've had guys hitting on you before, and maybe what it felt like when it was successful versus not successful. Maybe the times that it worked for you, maybe he was like building that kind of rapport with you before he starts trying to hit on you. And I also, just for the sake of the guys, I really hope that they like get more comfortable dancing at parties, because again, without the intention even of hitting on anyone. Dancing is so much fun. You have such a good time with your friends. You have a little bookie. You listen to fun music. Like, why is everyone else having a good time except for the straight and the bisexual men? I put that in quotes, not to discredit actual bisexual men, but that one guy who was at the party who was trying to hit on girls by saying he was bisexual. So, many such crazy things happening in the 21st century, guys. I hope you enjoyed the nail sounds. Sorry that I actually, the reason that I don't have the full set of nails on the other hand is because I lost them at the party I was talking about. Whoops. It was worth it. That was a great party. Alrighty. I hope you guys are doing well. I will see you in the next video.